Well, what do you think of Dobbins being added to running back?
Yeah, it's exciting. I mean, that's a guy that's had a lot of success in his career, and someone we've always had a lot of respect for, and just adds talent and competition to that room. Obviously he's been a very productive runner. He's a good pass protector, and so I think it's going to help the competition in that room and help the team.
How do you think he'll help the younger guys?
I mean, anytime you have a guy with that kind of experience, you just kind of saw him for the first time out here today, and he was locked in, and you could tell he's got really good habits, and that's always good to have a veteran example like that for the young guys.
What can you say, Joe, just about all the injuries he's had, but the way he's bounced back from them, including having a productive season last year?
Yeah, I mean, I think every time he's been healthy, he gets 5 yards a carry, so obviously he's had some bad luck with injuries, but I think our medical crew, and they've done such a good job here keeping guys healthy, so hopefully they can help him out in that aspect, and we'll get a really good addition that'll be available.
Was the relative inexperience at pass protection with the backs you did have in the room one factor in wanting to bring a veteran in?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I think I think we feel good about who's in that room. Prior to JK being here, we think that having lost Javante, he was such a good pass protector, but we felt we had guys in the room that are going to be able to step up. But just an overall, really good player that was available. I think, it'd be silly not to add him into the room and see what he adds, see what the competition brings out in everybody. So it's certainly a plus, but I'm not sure we felt short in that aspect.
With Bo, how would you evaluate just how he's looked this spring? Sean's talked a lot about how much more comfortable he seems this second off season.
Yeah, for sure. I think he mentioned it today. He had a completion on a concept that play action concept that last year he probably wasn't real comfortable with the footwork, and he came back and said, "Man, it's so great I don't have to think about the footwork." So it's you can just feel the comfort level. He's not thinking as much when you give him the play. He can get in and out of the huddle with a lot more comfort. He doesn't have to think as much. He can just kind of play free and natural, and you can certainly sense that out here.
Coach, I'm sorry someone's got over here late, but can you just give us a little description of JK Dobbins and what you like about adding him to the room?
Yeah, I'll say it again. Like you said, you're late, but good. He's been a productive runner in this league. He's averaged over 5 yards a carry, which is really good. Good pass protector, just good all-around player. Good guy, good pro, checks all the boxes.
Well, how much does that help adding a vet to the room? Because otherwise, you're talking about 3-year guy. Jaleel was your most veteran guy at that point.
Yeah, I think we've got some young guys that are a year older, and we really did feel good about the room before the signing. But you got a player of his accomplishments, and he was available. Just felt it was a no-brainer.
I asked Sean about this earlier. You got a good continuity on the offensive line, but Luke coming back for his second year at center. What are you expecting from him kind of getting his second full season as the starter?
I think just like we talked with the quarterback, just having been through it for a full season, he's a good communicator to start with and really smart, but having a year as a starter, just coming in, I think everyone will be a lot more comfortable. Things will go smoother. And hopefully we can just build on last year and continue to be a dominant line.
Did it help him and Bo to kind of grow together, having that first starting season together?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think anytime you can keep that battery together with the communication. Bo's used to seeing how he handles things, and he knows when he has to trump a call or something. And you just go through it over and over again, get more comfortable, it gets more smooth, and I think it'll be a good year for those two.
We've heard so much about the joke. You're talking about what Evan Engram brings to this offense.
Yeah, he's only been with us for 7-on-7, but man, you can feel the speed, the explosiveness. And he's a hard worker. He comes over when the quarterbacks are doing individual, and he catches balls, and very intentional in the way he goes through about his business. So just, kind of like we've been doing here is the scouts and the front office, they do such a good job. They bring in good players, but man, he really fits our profile as far as being a pro, being a hard worker, being a good leader, being a good teammate, all those things. So I'm really excited to see him get 100% healthy in training camp and see where that grows.
Joe,
Time for
Lou
two
has
more?
a handful of young backs in his room.
Yeah.
What has impressed you about working with him the last 2 years, and
Yeah.
just the way that he works with those young guys?
Yeah, really smart coach. Good with the guys. Good communicator. Good teacher. And he's had his work cut out for him, like you said, with a lot of young guys, and he gets them up to speed fast and has a good relationship with them. And I've been really pleased with the way he's brought those guys along.
Last question.
Bo, I guess, is getting the guys together in the offseason. How valuable is that when they're away from here to just get some work on the field, and I guess maybe even more valuable off the field?
Yeah, I think it helps. It always helps, especially a young quarterback, to kind of be in charge of those sessions. It helps him grow as a leader. The more those guys can throw, the more they can learn each other's body language, and the quarterbacks can learn how to throw to the different receivers, because each guy's a little bit different. And I think it helps with bonding a lot. Those guys get out there and they get a couple hours work in the morning, and then they go play golf and do whatever they do, and that just certainly helps with team bonding and chemistry and cohesion.
Thanks, Joe.
Thank you.
Thanks, Joe.